We are going to do our presentation on the wonderful Rosa Parks is a big hero. She started the bus boycott that led to the civil rights movement. One day, Rosa Parks was on the bus and a white man came and the police asked her to get up and move to the back of the bus. Rosa Parks refused. She went to jail for it, and by doing so, she became a real hero to black people everywhere.
Marilyn Monroe. She was born June 1st, 1926, and she died August 5th, 1962. She was known for her comedic acting roles and scene presence. Monroe became one of the most popular movie stars of the 1950s and the early 1960s. Her original name was Norma Jean Morrison.
In the 1950s, we created credit cards. We use them a lot today, and they are a real help because we can keep all of our money on those plastic cards, and we don't have to carry all that money around with us. So it makes it a lot easier to shop, get groceries, and things like that. So we also have a few other inventions that were made in the 1950s, like optical fibers, barcodes and barcode scanners, and a few others. Next, after this clip, will be another invention that was made in the 1950s. This is the telephone. It is way easier to talk to people that you can't normally talk to by using this. This allows you to communicate with people like in California, Colorado, and even another continent. They are really useful to talk to your friends or your loved ones if they are far away. And it can also help if you get lost, you can use one of these and you can be found. They have been remodeled, so they have been a huge hit.
V-neck, short sleeve, and polka dots were the top things in the 1950s. The 1950s clothes planted themselves into the 1960s and the 1970s, which means that they also some of them were used in the 1960s and 1970s. Plaid was also common in 1950s fashion. Men usually wore short sports suits, and they also a lot of times they wore hats, and ties were really common. And also the pink rage was when most of the men wore pink plaid shirts.
On a Monday evening, the Flint tornado landed on a crossroad and it killed 116 people in Guinness County and did a half a mile of destruction.
Hurricane Hazel did a lot of destruction. It was in 1954. Hurricane Hazel killed 1,200 people. It was a big hurricane.
The Cold War was a state of potential and military tensions after World War II between powers in the Western Bloc. It occurred in 1947 through 1991. About 180,000 people died a year, or 7 million after it.
The fighters were the Soviet Union and NATO. The Korean War happened on June 1950 and traveled on through till July 27, 1953. The countries that were fighting were South Korea, North Korea, the U.S., China, and the United Nations.